Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Progenitors, Bloodlines. I'm here with Simon as the fiery Willem Fair, CJ as the spidery Otto, Peter as the tough Thomas, and Diana as the cutie Quinn T. Quintini, actually, because we know your middle name now.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm
Everybody,
cute.
mason jar on stream.
Did not fill up during bio break because I did not stand up, so I will go get that now.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
I'm almost out as well. If Indigo, please don't do another mason jar. I'll run out of water. My goodness. So it's nice to be back from the break and for a new episode. So last time on Progenitors, we basically talked for a full episode about what to do about Bart, who now is living in his small scout like base camp outside of the forest, like at the front door of the forest. And we ended up gathering all of our progenitors and talking about what the origin story was going to be that they're going to tell Bart, and what the, I think, legend of the birth of the progenitors will be. And the reins, I think, were, with a little bit of debate, handed over to Otto in some sense for him to weave a tale worthy of their companions. So, Otto, did you have time to think of an interesting origin story?
Yeah, as much as possible. With
All right, I have to take notes as the DM.
Why is there so much pressure on him? Oh my god!
Whatever you say is going to be broken telephone anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
So everything we just said in the last 45 minutes or whatever.
In the last episode.
So I think I'm going to stand in a position where people think I'm going to start to speak, but I won't for a little while. I'm going to build a little bit of tension. I'm going to let people get quiet and then like start to speak because they're like, what's going on? They're getting like a little nervous randomly. Like, why is he staying there? He's not saying anything. And then as soon as like the murmur starts to begin, I ask the question, what is potential? Is it simply the ceiling to what one can achieve? Is it an ideal to strive for? Is it a goal that one can, if it is a goal that one can reach, what is the measurement of success? And can that goal not only be reached, but surpassed? A long time ago, in a city not so far away, 4 such figures emerge in the shadow of this pursuit. And then I go into a long-winded description of the idealized versions of the 4 of us, not as regular, normal people, but as beings that contain within them already all the ingredients necessary to one day combine and become what we are now. So it's a little bit of a reframing of we always had the potential to be what we were, but at some point in the past we did not have all of these things combined into what they are now. I mentioned that we gathered together in pursuit of this surpassing of potential with others. Don't mention that they experimented on us, just that we were kind of all in the same space towards the same pursuit. But I'd make sure to mention that those others did not survive after all these ordeals occurred, that only we rose to the top, the cream rose to the top, and we were the ones to survive. And let me see where else I'm at. The experiments are also reframed into just us pushing our bodies, minds, and abilities to the very brink, and then even beyond that. I'll mention some of the feats, like feats of strength and feats of fire and stuff like that. Like I'll be specific enough where it doesn't feel like I'm bullshitting, but I'll leave out the like experimental kind of like you're in this containment unit, and then we bring you out and we do stuff to you, and then we put you back. None of that is mentioned. And especially I kind of end off from there and move into speaking about how our shared experience, struggles, and hardships formed an unbreakable bond. Relationships that have allowed us to lead each of our people to this very moment. Together, we redefined what is at the very peak of possibility. As pioneers of power, we gather before you with humility, prepare to share our wisdom for as long as we can, and help you all achieve what the height is of your potential. Or if you so choose, to simply exist under our protection as you pursue your own goals. For though we are great, you too can be. But there is more to this, of course. The four of us here, our story cannot be summed up in one sitting. If you wish to know more, you can sign up at patreon.com. We will begin to meet at each replenishing of water. You can ask questions. You can simply come and listen to our stories. We will be open and honest, but I ask that you do not question what you have not yet learned. Listen, ask for clarification, but until you have the full story, do not jump to conclusions as to what we are, for we have not even begun to show you. And I'll kind of like leave it on that tense note. And I'll
You gotta roll me something. You gotta roll me an intellect roll. Tell me what your assets are. This is going to be pretty tough. This is definitely tough. You're convincing not only Bart but the Phoenicians, Ottomans, Underseers, and Decaphoutes who are here, who have come to listen at the scout base, and basically they will be the first to spread any rumors. So this will be heroic difficulty.
Could I aid in like the ambiance because like we're like around a campfire, right?
Yes.
By like attempting to like weaken the flames, like, and kind of like have this like have like buildups and kind of like flares at like certain more impactful moments.
Yes, absolutely. I would even say roll me, I forget which one your magic stat is.
Intellect.
It's an intellect as well. So if you want to go ahead and roll me an intellect.
I also want to add. Oh, sorry. I wanted to say, if mentor can also like provide the visuals as he's telling the story to give like an asset type thing or something.
Yes, I would say little visual effects,
Yeah.
or even if Otto mentions, I think I remember a giant beaver with multiple arms and eyes at one point. So if he mentions a creature or something, like, if you have a recording of it, like Mentor can basically kind of visualize that. I'll need an intellect roll from you as well for your tech.
Okay. Can we all pitch in here? Can I resonate with the emotions of the listeners, and then like I'll emulate their their feelings quite visibly for Otto to like catch them on me, and then he can, I don't know, like adjust the story on the fly sort of thing. I know this doesn't make sense retroactively, but
No, this all makes sense retroactively. I think that it's all coming into this moment of, and I misread this. I said heroic. That's only a task worthy of tales told for years afterward. You're trying to make a legend. Immortal is a task worthy of legends that last lifetimes. I think that is really, truly what is trying to be crafted in this moment. That is a difficulty 9, which is a target 27. Right, but we're going to break the rules a little bit. I'm going to let everybody come in on this. Gather all your resources to do it.
So I'm going to definitely put in an effort to try and like make it subtle because I don't want to be like, haha, look at this, wow, like a fire show. Like I'm making it subtle enough to like just as if it's kind of like the flame is almost influenced by Otto's words.
Yes.
So I rolled a 15 and then with effort.
Right. And a 15 with effort is definitely enough for you to give the asset in this moment to help with the storytelling and the performance of this. I think for everybody, the difficulty is going to be challenging. So it is going to be 15. So you would have had it without the effort. But I think with the effort, that's like you just weave it in very well, almost to the point that it's like the fire's doing it on its own. You know, it's not even being controlled.
I got the 17 on mine.
17. Mentors, projections. I think like you're giving mentor little instructions here and then, oh yeah, remember that? Oh, you're right. And like projects the drill hound when you first saw them. And then like helping you fight something. And I think like mentor is like doing like quick little, you see like the matrix in his eyes for a second as he's like doing like mental math to like take different angles from like camera angles to show like make the beaver look more intimidating.
I like that, to give the right energy.
Exactly, give the right energy. At one point like shows like all of you guys like looking cool and like coming up, and then shows the other progenitors like show up, so it's like two bad superhero teams kind of meeting up. Shows the head of the institute, Dr. Mario Hiroyuko, and like makes him look awful, like, you know, dark and shadowed and like grainy, almost like this villain. See someone's like, ooh. Right, so that's 2 assets from the team members. Tomas.
Okay. I will use an effort as well, and I'm trained in this empathy magic. That is a 10.
But 2 steps easier means that your target number was a 9.
Yes.
And so you're able to accurately parse the emotions of the crowd. And I think really in this moment, it's about what are the majority feeling? Let me communicate that over to Otto so that he can figure out how to do it. Or, oh, there's an outlier there. And I think that you're able to, I think with your body language almost, mimic that person in such a way that Otto can like, I see who you're copying, and try to like reel that one back in and get everybody's attention in that way and weave it all together. Otto, you have 3 assets from the progenitors. You have your own storytelling assets. How many do you have for that?
Well, I have one narrative telling, and then I have deception, which I think in this
lying.
case,
You are lying.
Yeah,
You are lying about this stuff. It is not all true. So I definitely will allow that. So you have 5, total. So it goes from
and then
27
I'll spend an effort, obviously,
and an effort. So 6.
So
We go from 27 to 24, 21, 18, 15, 12, 9.
Yo.
9 on the dot.
Come on.
Use the extinction.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna use it. Of course, I'm gonna use it. 16.
On a 16, you beat it by 5 or more.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it is a resounding success. Even Bart, this veteran magic user coming from a distant land who's seen much and heard much, this experienced old man, you can see him enthralled by the magic on display here, the sense of community, the sense of legend and myth that surrounds all of you. And I think on that good of a roll, all of you feel it too. It's not just oh, we're performing in this moment. It's like, no, wait, we are legends. We are a little bit mythical. And it's not a deception. It's not a performance. It's a state, right? It's like your normal state of being, in a sense, of the effort that all of you can put in to create something is immortal, is heroic, is legendary. And that sense is instilled upon the listeners here. And I think that a lot of people who hear about this story over this evening and the coming day, as the rumors spread around, the beginning of this legend and passing down of an oral tradition that will start by the place where you gather for water, and there will be a regret for those who were not present and could not witness the original telling of the story.
Can we ensure that May was there so she doesn't regret it? Please.
Would you all have invited your lieutenants for the first telling? I feel like that would have been a thing.
That's fair, right?
I feel like it was so impromptu. Like I don't know.
It was
Like,
impromptu. I would let you up to you guys if you want to roll for it, maybe. And it could be like
I want to roll for it.
Just fine. Kaylin will hear it by the water.
No. I feel like May would feel hurt if she doesn't hear it with the first people.
Okay, well then I'm sure you would have invited May. Then.
I'm gonna let the roll decide.
All right, roll for Johnny.
Yeah, if it's even. Actually, wait. Is there a way to I can't show it to the camera.
Even or odd, do it.
Even or odd. So even, he's there. Odd, he's not. It's even, so he's there.
All right, Johnny showed up.
6. Can't really show it to the camera, but whatever.
That's incredible. So Johnny's there, Maylin's there. I think for you, Otto, Sandriel had been your handmaiden, and now she's missing a hand. Is she still, I think, the person that that would be spreading your word, or would you have picked someone else who was more able-bodied?
Yeah, and I don't know how she feels about that.
No
but
longer need her as a handmaiden if she doesn't have a hand.
I do it purposefully to hopefully have her strive to be better, and then maybe she could be welcomed back. But she definitely was kind of cut
She
off.
lost the hand for you.
I think there's a recovery period, and then she comes back and is like, "Oh, my job got taken, so now I have to work harder to accomplish things again." I think absolutely.
I'm my own replacement as the prophet. I think only I can spread my own word from my mouth. But this is coming into I have slowly been talking about the great spider that is I'm connected to, but it's not just me. So I am kind of shifting. I am the prophet, and instead of Isandriel speaking for me and then coming to me, I'm speaking to you, and then I'm communicating with this spider. But I don't mention that here. I've just been mentioning it, to my own people here.
Yes, but they have a hierarchy. So in terms of who is higher up in that hierarchy, who are the the group that the council that you're coming to, right? Do you have the lead of that council with you? Do you have a whole 5 to 7 of these highest ranking Ottomans with you here in this moment?
I'd like that for sure. So we can do the weaver, whoever is in charge of most of the weaving. I forget what his name was. I messed it up last time. Maybe who's in charge of the web lines?
The Elethir Synthanol.
Yeah, there we go. Whoever's in charge of the web lines? I was starting a little religion kind of thing. So whoever was most susceptible to that in its humble beginnings. What else? And then maybe the physically strongest out of us who works closely with some of Tomas's people in some capacity. I won't speak too much on what they would allow, but whoever's physical abilities came in.
You don't have to name them all here, but I think that you've decided your council would be here. So just maybe write me a list of okay, these are. I need to just know how many do you think you would have? I think in Willen's case, it's you have Johnny, who is your right hand man, and he just passes out tasks to different groups of people who are on different stuff. Tomas, you have you're the chieftain or the leader, and then there are units, and each unit is comprised not quite a family, but they're almost they're all doing kind of their own stuff, and they all interact together. And the underseers, I think there's more of a teams of people who are skilled at stuff for Quinn, who are just set on projects and things like that. It's way more scholarly in nature, is what I would say.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, so if that's the case, and Isandril is not here, then Kaylin is not here, so Kaylin misses this first story. You can tell him about it tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe Kaylin missed it, but by total chance, Wilga's here to.
Wilga's here.
Yeah, she
Of
brought some
course.
supplies and then she stuck around, so she'll go brag about it later.
Oh,
Directly to Kaylin,
It was a
actually.
Yeah,
story
exactly.
that he did. I, Wilga, was here to hear it.
I heard the true story.
Incredible. So Wilga heard the story, and then you'll list me out however many lieutenants or cultists that you have who are at the head of the cult that are going to a different position. So give me a name and give me their station, and we'll go from there later. But yeah, incredible. The myth begins. The legend begins. I think the night goes late. The fire burns, all the way down. It's been fed slowly by, the stockpile of wood that was nearby. But I think with the extra magic that Wilm was putting into it, it went through a lot of that stockpile. So by the time the story is ended, a few people have to go and fetch wood right away just to make sure that there's enough for during the night. You can see that the scouts that are, stationed here, very happy to take up their stations and kind of like stay in the that slowly receding bubble of narrative, in that moment just a little bit longer, feeling the grandness of what they are a part of what they've come into. Otto, you get a question from a younger underseer who just comes to you and says, hey, this was all so incredible. Where did we come from? And you know that he's talking about the people.
Does my character know? I feel like we don't fully know.
I think you remember Enoch said, I will give you resources.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of all you know about where these people came from. I think you have all of you have a hunch that these were people. These are obviously skills, and they have knowledge of living in the previous modern world before the cataclysm. But they've obviously changed a lot. Only one person in your entire camp has really had memories, and that was Johnny. And Johnny was like, I remember being a marketer. Like he was like, I remember what my job was and what I did. And he's like, I don't really know who I was or like who I talked to or anything, but like he has the most concrete memory of that stuff.
I will pick up a rock from the ground and I'll say, what is this? You asked me a question. Allow me to ask you some first.
It's a stone.
And what kind of uses might it have?
Infinite uses. There's a building and tools and shelter and cooking.
Do you remember where I picked this up from the ground?
Yes, right there.
And where did it come from before that?
I suppose it was perhaps eroded from some mountain or brought here by some beast, or an earthquake unearthed it, or perhaps it was always there.
If I gave you any one of those answers, would it change anything about this rock?
Give me an intellect roll, but with a disadvantage. Like you're going to get a negative on it here. And I think like you're giving a very simple explanation to what I think what you're intuiting in this moment all of a sudden is like they are a very smart person. The underseers I think are like techies, like engineers.
We're geeks.
They're big nerds.
Yeah.
Be a dumb geek. Why don't we get one of those dumb geeks?
Oh, I'm sure there's a few.
10.
On a 10, they look at the stone, look at you, and they go, "I'm a person, and that is a rock."
Yes.
And they don't say it like meanly or anything, but like clearly expecting more.
Of course. Your origin is equally more complicated as you are more powerful and meaningful than a rock. And just like I cannot sit here and tell you the exact origin of each rock around us, nor can any of us simply sit here and answer so easily such a complicated question. This is why you and your fellow sorry, what do you call yourselves again?
The underseers, under overseer Quinn.
Right. You and your underseers must come and speak and listen as we share knowledge, and together we can unlock the answer. For the answer that might appease to you, the answer that might contain truth for you, will not contain truth for everyone here. And so I must handle the answer with great care and not, I want to say delicacy, but that isn't what the word means. I must be delicate and careful with my answer.
Delicacy is the right word. You can say that there.
Okay.
Yep. It's not only a sweet or a treat, it is also with the delicateness. You say delicacy, that you see a frown cross their face, but the just truly outstanding display of magic and storytelling from before lingers. But as it wisps away, they simply nod to you, or like kind of almost like a small bow, that deference, that respect the sacredness of this moment. And they make their way off into the forest. But Otto, that frown lingers for you, I think, as you contemplate it. You've started putting, I think it is the best possible start to a story, to a legend, but it is right. There's a lot of holes right now. There's a lot of like, maybe not holes. Holes is the wrong term. The basket has not been fully woven, and so to avoid things falling out, you're going to have to carefully finish it. So I think you take that thought forward with you on what are other questions that these people will have. What else are you going to have to explain, and how quickly will you have to explain it if the first question was this?
This is why I like at the end, I'm like, don't try and like question everything right away. Partially, like, because I wanted to convince them that there's more to the story that we'll come to later, but also because I don't know all the answers yet. So I'm like, don't fucking try and poke holes through everything. Give me time to build the narrative.
Give me time.
Do I know this guy's name at all? Just for future reprimanding reference.
I don't think you know this underseer's name. I mean, you can make it like a note of their face kind of thing, and like try and find out later.
I can pitch a name.
Pitch name.
Little Frankie.
Little Frankie.
Yeah, I feel like that's such a little Frankie thing to do.
Little Frankie. And then when little Frankie goes missing, you know what happens.
Little Frankie dares to question Otto. No, it's a fair question for sure, but it shows inquisitive nature that could be troublesome.
Right, incredible. Then as you all, I think like the food is long done. There's only like little bits of like nuts and things to pick at, like roasted nuts even, I would say, by the fire over a long period, bits of jerky, and people start to drift off into the night to go to bed. You hear the sounds of birds and a little howl, just like a yip in the distance, not of a hunting wolf, but of playfulness, and the night really being in full swing, and late. So the nocturnal creatures are in the zenith of their activity. is there anything that anyone wants to do? Because a voice will reach out. So there's a little scene that I would like to play. But before that, if there's any last things, do you guys want to have one last little group combo before bed about how the story went, or do you save that for the morning?
Sure.
I feel like we'll just kind of like look at Otto, just kind of gauge how he's feeling about it. Essentially, you're like, everything went well. Does you need to have a little quick talk after, just to see? But without actually like saying, just kind of like side eye glance towards him.
You'll see I'm like staring up at the stars and like it looks like I'm studying them in a way. So I'm like absorbed in that rather than sitting contemplatively.
And I think, Will, and what you see is Otto absorbed in looking at these stars, and his council members like arrayed around him almost like in a semicircle, and they're kind of like all seated, and instead of studying the stars are looking at Otto, kind of like waiting reverently.
Not a moment to interrupt then. He'll wait till later.
The temptation to interrupt.
Will actually he'll go around and like try and listen in on potentially what people are saying about the story.
Yeah, give me a little. Are you trying to like surreptitiously do this, or are you like really like walking up and like walking next to people and just like listening to them chat and then moving on?
Well, Wilm has like already made it like a thing to go and like speak to the people like a bit like different groups as much as he can, like at night, like when he has spare moments. So I think he's just going to continue doing that, and like while he's doing that, see if anything comes up about the story, if anything like questions or like comments about it kind of crop up.
Okay, yeah. So I think like you just go into this, just going and being available. I think, right, being available and approachable after that story, and there weren't too many people here, so as people drift off fairly quickly, you catch little hints of their conversation, and they know you're about, and that you're next to them. You can see that they almost like can't contain their excitement and their awe of the story that was told. I think you really do get the impression that it was taken very well. Even to the point, I think, Will, you have an intuition as a magic user that Otto's storytelling there's magic in it. Right. And like you also have that feeling of elation too. So I think, like, are we that mythical? Are we that grand? As you listen to people and think, and you're like, well, we are, but also I think that was an incredibly good story that was lifted a little bit with not only our performances but a little bit of inherent magic.
And then I'll just end with like Johnny, because I know Johnny's going to tell me whatever he's thinking.
Yeah, Johnny's like, that was great. He's like, boss, I don't know if it was all true, but if it is, if even a bit of that is true, that is truly crazy.
Look, all we can tell you is what we know ourselves. You're all intelligent people. Make of it as you will. But know that we, all of us, rely on each of you, just as you may rely on us.
Yeah, you look at Johnny, and he's got that easy Johnny grin, but he looks at you, and I think there's a moment of like, it feels weird when he looks at you, because he seems so serious in that moment, and Johnny will kind of awkwardly but swiftly just take a knee and say, I pledge to follow you. And then just get up really quick and brush his knee off and go like, I feel weird. I'll see you in the morning.
Oh, before he leaves, I'll kind of like, he'll see Wilm like smile and chuckle, and says, "Just the reason why you're the man that I can trust. Always quick with a smile and knows what to say at the moment."
Yep. And I think he just clasps your shoulder, not like super hard or anything in his jolly way. It's just like a touch, genuinely warm, and just goes off to bed without another word. You can tell that story touched him.
Cool.
Amazing.
Right, head off to bed. Quinn, you have Maylin in your arms. She fell asleep near the ending of it a little bit. Bart is kind of stargazing as well. And I think, what is Tomas with the Decaphots?
I think at the end of the story, he will feel like I have to take the opportunity to interrupt the quiet moment for Otto. I step into your like vision as you're looking up at the stars.
Walk out the stars.
I've got like this like Otto, and I'm still like feeling the vibrations of all the people who just like experience the story, you know, in all this gloriousness. And so I'm like, Otto, that story was so beautiful. It was like I was there myself. I think I'll just like pick you up in a hug.
Oh,
which is like not something that happens very often.
I think I just like let it happen. I don't push you off, but I don't like
off the ground.
Watch you like a rag doll.
Yeah.
Into his
thank you for that story. It was so good. And I think like very quickly, I like because you're kind of like an anchor for me emotionally because you have very little, at least outwardly. So as I'm like holding you, it's like all that emotion kind of disappears, and I put you down and I go, very good. All right. Well, I'll see you in the morning. And I turn around and like walk away.
Maybe like conversely, I just like notice a little like moisture in my eye. I just wrote, it's really
Yeah, I think a feeling of accomplishment, well deserved. Your lieutenants, with you, Otto, attending to you. I think they're ready to, how would you like us to disseminate this information, or shall we wait for the proposed time at the the water and send people in turn, and they'll start to, I think, plan a little bit with you about how exactly this will work. Tomas, the Decaphots, you hear at least two of them who are still here reciting the story.
Oh, no.
So under their breath, just like trying to remember word for word almost what was said. I think it's the most straightforward way of transferring this information, of remembering it properly, is just like, okay, we're going to tell the story again and pass it to the next person, and they're going to have to tell the whole story again.
Yeah,
So
it's going to get butchered so fast. It's going to be beautiful.
Incredible. All of this happens, and Quinn, you're bringing Maylin, and you lay her down to rest in her bed, sleeping. Her face kind of like just like sags a little, and you tuck her in with the cover, and you hear her kind of snort in her sleep. Adorable.
Very.
And a voice reaches out, and you can feel it like small fingers touching the edges of your mind. Quinn, come to see me now. I wish to speak with you about that story. And it's the great Black Widow. That was freaky.
Yeah. The spirit is coming after us. Is that upstairs?
Yes.
Okay, it's just the child. It's the child.
Jesus Christ.
Ignore the child.
The edge of your mind.
Not our child, by the way. I want to make that clear. We don't have a child cooped up upstairs.
Why do you have to make that so clear, Peter?
Someone's trying to break into your mind.
Wait, but whose voice is that?
Waiting for the banging to start again. That is the voice of the Great Black Widow.
Oh shit!
The Spider Queen is calling for you to come meet her
Queen and not Otto. Oh shit.
in the dead of night.
That's weird.
Mommy.
You're being set aside, Otto.
Oh, fuck.
I don't want to see the queen alone ever. The only thing that can happen if the queen sees me is I get eaten. I think not.
Do you want to go wake someone up? Do you want to
Yeah,
bring
I will
people with
actually
you?
go to Aura. I like she didn't say like you can't bring a friend, did she?
Why
Bring
don't
a
you roll me
friend.
like an intellect check to
Cypher.
gain a little bit of insight into her tone and why
Hmm.
she would have reached out to you?
I wish to see you, Quinn.
5?
5.
Just a 5.
Just a 5. Yeah, I think it sounds very threatening, and you know what? You're the doomed. I will
Yeah.
compel you to be, I think, a little bit intimidated into going to see her right now.
Oh.
Ruh-roh.
Okay. Okay. But just as quick as I get in there, I am quick to get out of there. That's a promise with my wheelies.
Absolutely. Yeah, full of trepidation, you walk into the forest. You go towards the den of the Great Black Widow. And I think this part of the woods was that silent place, right? Full of that infection from another dimension. And as you get here, you see that there are some dead spots in the woods, some wilted and, half dead trees that tried to come back with Valeth's magic, but it seems like they've never fully recovered, or perhaps that part of them really had died. And as you make your way in, there's webbing a little bit here and there, small insects, spiders.
And
Quite a few
speaking of
spiders.
insects, I'll probably need to become one myself in order to get to where I need to, right?
You don't have to. There is a clear path now. The spiders are for riding a lot of the large ones now, right? I say large, but they're medium size. They're the size of horses. So basically, there's a path into this like cave, and it is open to anybody to enter. I think that Quinn, in the dark, you are walking, and you know that people do not often come here.
Okay.
It's not like you can't tell, you can't really see that there's no footsteps, but you know yourself that like it's not like people come visit the Spider Queen or the spiders in their
Before
lair.
I reach, like, just outside her lair, can I put down a portal? Or can
As a
I only
termite?
do that? Yeah, that's it, as a termite. I will go in termite form, but I want to put a portal outside. Like, kind of like, in order to have an escape if ever I needed one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think on that 5, you're like, this is very real danger.
Yeah, I'm
And so
scared.
you can definitely like just outside of the lair, like maybe behind a tree a little bit out of the way, you turn into the termite. So all of you see magical girl sequence. Quinn like hits the the D-pad like Ben 10 style. You spin and there's like a magical light, and you become a nasty big termite bug. The mandibles and the jaws and the little hairs all over your bug body. You just are this huge bug, and you make that small rip. Not so noticeable, just a crack in the dark, like a crack of dark in the dark. And you, as your termite self, start to make your way down into the lair. As you go in, it becomes more cavernous, it becomes more webbed. You can see that in here, the spiders have, in a sense, created tunnels of webbing. And as you walk as the termite, I think like in some places touch the web and it's not sticky. Like it really is a web that is meant for like building, and not for trapping. And there's like different levels in here. And as you go down and around, one, that this path is very like gradual and windy, but that the space in here that's been excavated and made out, like it is this huge hollow all the way at the bottom here. The levels of web around you stretching and going around. You realize that there is a large pit that goes even further down. And from within that pit, you hear slight scraping as very eerily silently the great massive body of this huge black spider emerges and beholds you with its eyes. I'm just going to bring up that picture. Here we go.
Oh yeah, just a beautiful face. I remember.
She's so cute. And as it moves towards you, it does that uncanny thing again, where the eyes and the head stay focused on you as the body almost shrinks behind it and then elongates and becomes the humanoid form, or starts to, and then I think blinks and seems to take in your appearance and shifts back into the spider.
Yeah, I thought I could be on your levels, insect to insect.
And she responds in kind. And I think that now that you're in that termite form, there is a warmth to the communication that is maybe lacking otherwise, right? Like I think when she communicates with that telepathic insectoid connection, when she reached out, it sounds very like there's like that, almost like it's alien, really, right? It's not mammalian at all. In this form, it's like you catch all the nuance that was missing. And so as she speaks to you, you can see, oh, lovely of you to have come, Quinn. Thank you. I appreciate your what's the word I'm looking for? Your what's the word for when you get there on time?
Promptness.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate your promptness in this matter, but I felt I must speak with you about the mythic tale that was woven by Otto on behalf of all of you.
Then, if it's related to Otto's story, why are you trying to inquiry from me?
She looks you dead in the eye. I know that you're a Dimensionaut, and I know that that story doesn't hold water. In fact, to be blunt, I want to know why you all feel it's necessary to hide your true origins.
How do you know so much?
And she like reaches like one of those long big legs
Hmm.
and kind of like motions to your front termite leg where your D-pad would have been on your arm. She goes, I recognize that device. It's not the first time as an underworlder that I would have seen such a thing. That's how we're known to Dimensionauts. Have you even told them of anything that has to do with that? The tower?
I haven't. I really didn't know how to bring it up.
She kind of shifts a little bit. Perhaps you shouldn't. This mortal world is so far removed from all of that. In many ways, it is a new beginning. The plane that I and my kindred are originally from, it knew certain Dimensionauts who would come through or do missions. We were aware of this existence. I do not wish to re-engage with the tower. And so I think that I would like an assurance from you, a sort of truce, if you will, of mutual aid and to perhaps she fumbles a little bit. Foster goodwill. Roll me an intellect, please.
Yeah, I'm curious. Now that she even stumbled, it seems like it's curious the way she's acting. She's not as confident as I expected her to be for some reason. I got an 8.
On an 8, Mentor is giving you an asset for this. It is, I think, enough to, in this moment, like, you have the right instinct. There's something up with the way that she's talking about this in terms of stumbling. And I think that you sense that she is being cautious, and that something about the story is what has obviously triggered this. But that does not, invalidate the fact that this is some sort of an olive branch that she is offering. Not to mention that she already does have a deal with all of you through Otto and through the spiders and the, basically of mutual, you provide food and they provide work. This seems to be more of a with her.
I look at her in the eyes, the many eyes that she has. Same though, as I am a termite. I don't know how many eyes termites have, though, truthfully. Regardless, well, I believe that so far we've been on good terms, you and I, and our people. So I don't see why we need to break that sort of relationship. I am on the side of keeping that part of the story shrouded for now, if that makes sense. And I believe that as long as we stay on good terms, there's no reason to bring it up.
Wonderful. Then you and I are agreed. In the same way that your origins are shrouded in mystery to your peoples, your origins and my origins will be shrouded in mystery for anyone who comes to ask.
I agree.
Right?
Do we shake our not antennas, but our little spider?
I think it's like a weird insect, like almost like a humming of like your minds, touching for a moment of like it is like a handshake, but a mental one.
Perfect.
Right. And I think that just as your minds shimmer for a second against each other, that agreement, you both do. And she will descend back into the pit from whence she came, and you are free to leave.
I teleport out.
You teleport right out of there, and the other one close it back up and zip it up. And yeah, I think you exit from that conversation with a little bit more knowledge. You know that she's a type of underworlder that wherever she came from, she does not wish to have any connection to anymore, and that Dimensionauts were somehow involved. And I think that there's a realization maybe on your part, Quinn, of it felt like a lot when you told your companions about the station and the experiment and everything. There's more that you haven't told them.
Yeah.
There's a whole like where you came from and why, and the technology and everything back there at the tower, right? That's sent to that station. And I think that Quinn, and you think about Mentor and you think like, what does he know that I need to know? If my companions ask me about the tech and where that station came from, what is a good answer?
True. I also think to myself, we really need to build a home. I need to get more information from Mentor.
Yeah, Mentor is like, yeah, even the spiders built a home.
Yeah, we need to level up our game. Not a city, but at least some houses for the families that we have.
Mentor is in full agreement, nodding along as you head back towards bed. And I think with that, we will conclude today's session as everyone drifts off to sleep. The story, the foundational myth has been laid of the progenitors and their bloodlines. My God, name drop of the show. I think we're slowly moving into maybe another fast time phase. It's feeling like we're getting to a point where maybe we're not so suspicious of Bart that we can start moving time a little faster. You don't have to welcome him into the city yet, but maybe he can just like live outside the city for a period of time. But yeah, I'm incredibly excited for what this all means. EXP.
Wow. Okay.
EXP. So we have an incredibly well told story all around. I think this is such an important moment. I am going to award an XP to each of you that you do not have to bicker over and share. You just all get an XP. And we're going to have an additional 1 XP that you do have to bicker over and share just for the Black Widow encounter and everybody getting together and talking around the fire.
I mean, the storyteller. He says
I know, but I got EXP last 2 times. I refuse to get it again. I give it if I accept it, and then I give it right back.
Dana did walk alone into this encounter with the Black Widow.
Could have been
I
a
was
bad situation.
terrified. I was shaking, but in the end,
there should be some a little bit of a reward that goes with that.
I agree.
But what about Thomas getting?
What about Thomas?
He got the guy
Also
to.
Thomas?
Sorry, Thomas.
Tom ass. Okay.
That's the legend that spread, man. It was this guy called Thomas.
No.
He helped Bart unlock magical powers. He's the one who encouraged
No.
it.
I think it's got to go to the bravery of facing the Black Mother.
No, right? I'll take it if you guys insist.
Yeah,
We do.
I think it's unanimous.
Damn, we all got
That was crazy.
That was great.
Right? Wonderful.
That was awesome.
We've given our XP. We've gosh, that does bring us though, I think, to the next day in which Otto desired a meeting with a Hunson Dabadir, which we will have to remember for next time. Don't lose that thread. I tried to move time quickly towards it, and instead we got stuck
On day.
What a terrible things have happened. My goodness. But that's it for today's adventure on the Hexagon TTRPG. All for being here, my players, and our audience, and making it an amazing session. If you enjoyed the game, don't forget to follow so that you're ready for our next episode. You can tune in this Thursday for the Hexagon's next episode of, I believe, Champs Challenge this Thursday with our GM Bernier. Matthew, for those who know him. You can find more content, world building, and updates on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Just look for it at the Hexagon TTRPG. And once again, that is Simon, CJ, Peter, and Diana, and me, your GM Brent, signing off. We're Hexagon. Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.